Hi everyone, and welcome again to another episode of Trip Around the Multiverse with your hosts Kyle, Charles, and
CY Chan.
And in this episode, well, we've had a little discussion. We thought, you know what, we're both huge Spider-Man fans. You're probably more bigger Spider-Man fan than I am.
Well, depends at certain points of when the publication history is. Yeah. That's all I can say about that.
Overall, he's very everyone sort of gets into the comics or into superheroes because of Spider-Man, because he's the everyman. So we thought, hey, there's many different versions of Spider-Man, and they've met many a times.
Yeah. Yep.
So we thought we'll have a look at the different interpretations when they met, like the animated times, the movie times,
the crossovers,
comics,
the prestige format crossovers, the limited series crossovers, just mainly Spider-Verse.
Everything to do with Spider-Verse.
And it's comic iterations, like you're saying, the animated versions and variations, how they're different and stuff like that. So, firstly, I guess we'll start with the comics Spider-Verse and Spider-Geddon.
Yeah.
Okay. So, what did you think of this series?
I like Spider-Verse a lot.
Yeah.
Spider-Geddon, we'll get to it.
Yeah.
It's not really. To be fair, to me, it seems like, hey, cash grab sort of thing.
Let's mainly focus on Spider-Verse and then move on to that one afterwards. So
Spider-Verse, I thought it pulled off very, very good. They built the whole Dan Slott run, basically sort of built up to it. And you can see if you go back and read bits of it, you can see the seeds being planted.
Right, here's the thing, right? Okay, so the gimmick of the crossover is every single Spider-Man in the multiverse crossover meet for this adventure, but how much time can you spend on every single Spider-Man? So they just pick key ones, specific ones. Okay, now my question to you is, when they created the Inheritors, did you think like they did that on purpose to? When Morlun was first created, 2001, from this point, do you think they just grabbed them and they were like, okay, let's use this character for this crossover specifically, or did you think they were like, right, we're not sure what we're going to do, let's grab this guy and move our story with him?
I feel like, what you said first, I feel like, because they tend to do this a lot of writers now, they've noticed that, they'll find some obscure character from like the 50-odd year plus history of the comics or whatever, and then bring them back in this like some huge major way. For example, like in X-Men, Krakoa and stuff like that. So I reckon with Morlun in the 2000s, because that the whole run with people didn't really like, didn't they? They didn't like Ezekiel or whatever.
Okay. Here's the thing: it depends on who you speak about, whether they like the run or not. So that's this. Okay, so speaking about that specific story, I think what it was getting people was like, okay, he's Peter Parker, he's the everyman, right?
Yeah.
So then, and he just happened to be a dude that
got bitten by a spider. Yeah.
Okay, but this story is like, okay, he was
destined.
Is it the spider?
Or is it
that was hit by radioactivity, then transferred its power to Peter Parker, right? Yeah. Or was the spider always going to transfer its power to Peter Parker, but the radioactivity hit it and killed it? It basically made it die at that point.
Yeah.
Rather than use the radioactivity to transfer it over. That's sort of running. It was like, oh, which way could it have been? And then it tended kind of mystic. Rather than, I don't want to say it's science based, right?
But I do mean,
you converted it from that science fiction fantasy to actual.
Yeah, they sort of took it as sort of adding the mystic bit. It kind of took away the whole like accidental. To
was he was always destined? And then I think the other issue is so which way does it go? Like what? Is he very important that like he's not just a single guy who just happened to have these abilities? He's always like, okay, now he's the chosen one.
Chosen one.
But in that run, in the Michael J. Straczynski run, where he created Morlun 2001, basically there was a fight for the. It's like Death of Superman, just Spider-Man fighting his version of Doomsday for the entire.
Which wasn't bad. It was good.
but then he got dosed with the radioactivity. So he's trying to absorb Spider-Man's spider totem abilities.
Yeah.
But because he had radioactivity in his blood from the radioactive spider thingamajig, then Peter Parker overdosed himself with radioactivity that didn't kill him. And so when Morland tried to
eat him, or not eat him, but drain his
he also drained the radioactivity, and then Morland's underling shot Morland in the head to finish him.
Put him out of misery.
Yeah, exactly. Just like, I've had enough of you being underling and stuff like that. So then Morland disintegrated, which then is like, this will lead later on. There's relevance to this. Okay. So then Morland comes back in the storyline, the other, randomly for no reason whatsoever. Did you read that?
I read the other.
Okay. So can you give the people a basic taste of what... I didn't like this story, but that's not all about it. Just give it a really compressed version of it because it's relevant.
Because the other is basically when, if I remember correctly, is when they basically go all in on the supernatural stuff and he dies, but then sheds his skin to become alive again. Yeah. And he has spike from his wrists, and he can actually do organic webbing. Yeah. So he's trying to tie it more into the.
So first of all, I'm just going to quickly say I did not like the story. The whole concept was just really like, oh, we're going to kill Spider-Man, bring him back. That's it. Okay, and like you say, it was all in the spider. It's like he's going to get killed. Morland's going to squeeze his eyeball out. Yeah. Right.
Then he eat it as well. Yeah.
And then when Spider-Man becomes more animalistic spider, he eats Morland. Yeah. What? Okay. And then he kind of goes into the Superman coma sort of thing, and then he accepts his spider totem powers, and then he gets rebirthed as Peter Parker Spider-Man, but with more
powers,
for a spider totem links or whatever. Right now, I'm like, what? But there is relevance to this because
it comes
Kane,
back.
the Scarlet Spider of this in Spider-Verse, he's the other. There's a point to it. But did you think that the whole Inheritors, the fact there were multiple clones, that was just something they thought up out of nowhere?
Yeah,
that was not. They saw like, all right, 20 years ago, 15, whatever. He disintegrated in his first appearance. And clones disintegrate. Two together.
Clones everyone. Yeah.
I like that. I like that kind of.
Like I said before, they bring like weird things back into relevance. Like, oh, that's a pretty good idea.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. I thought it was actually, like you say, in Spider-Verse, it's a pretty well told story, and it's at a hectic pace because basically the Inheritors, Morland's family, but about 7 of them.
Yeah, there's 7 of them.
They terrorize all the Spider people across the universe, and they're trying to get away and form an army. But every time then the Inheritors have the jump on them, they jump away. So it says like a hide and seek until we can form some sort of group to fight back. Yeah. But it keeps on going because they find them and they don't have much time to breathing room, and then they just have a battle. They lose people. They jump away to another. I'm not as simplistic as I'm saying, but
it's not like
the pace keeps on moving. Yeah, there's no stalling.
When it first came out, I was reading the tie-ins as well.
Yep.
And I'll say rarely tie-ins normally have nothing to do with anything. It's just money grab. A few of these tie-ins actually help the story because there's like the bit where like Spider-Man 2099 goes off his story for that. It's like, oh cool, that actually makes sense rather than when you just read it singly, it's like, oh, he's cutting open a clone. Like, wait, what?
Yep.
And even with the Scarlet Spiders or the clones, when they go off to destroy Alchemax, that makes the clones. That comes in. It builds up the story and it gives the Ben Reilly Spider-Man in this more of a nod to like you just see him in the beginning. Like, oh yeah, I'm Ben Reilly. Oh, okay. Then you just see his dead body.
Yeah. But it's kind of fun how all the clones, like Jessica Drew from the Ultimate Universe,
Black Widow,
Kane Parker, and Ben Reilly from Earth 94.
Yeah.
They go off to do their clone thing, I was like, oh, okay, that's kind of neat. So I think they spotlighted a good couple of spots. It wasn't like a solo story up. Okay, how they did it was pretty neat. It was like Doctor Octopus Spider-Man went on his time travel adventure. Yeah. Where he got shot into 2099 future, and he's trying to find his way back to the 616 timeline. Yeah. To his normal past, except he keeps on traveling across because he has to find the right frequency. Yeah. And then he encounters lots of spiders being killed. Yeah. And then he encounters Khan, the outcast inheritor.
Yeah.
And they have fights as well. Like he's fighting. Doctor Octopus is helping other spiders escape from this guy.
Yeah.
And then they try to. Then through all those battles, he works out sort of like how to dampen their ability to sense them all across the timeline, the universes and stuff like that. But it makes sense. It makes like Doctor Octopus like he's starting his end of the story.
Yeah.
Then Spider UK, the Captain Britain Spider-Man,
Billy Braddock's. Yeah.
He starts his multiversal adventure as well because he's trying to gather troops on his end because he's like, okay, something's wrong with the multiverse here. So and he's obviously finding out it's a Spider-Man. He also has a device to do interdimensional travel. So actually starts the story away from Peter Parker to begin with, like the standard 616 Peter Parker.
Yeah.
So not like okay, it's his title. We'll make him the main character. Like okay, other things are happening, and then I think in the chapter 1 of Spider-Verse, that's when they all group around Peter Parker.
Yeah.
But the new reason Peter Parker, classic Peter Parker, I'll call him. You can call him 616, but we have to distinguish because they're all Peter Parkers, almost.
Yeah. Classic people. If you refer to him as classic people.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So classic Peter Parker then is only the leader because he's the one who's actually defeated Morlun before.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, that makes sense. These other guys aren't being pushed to the side. They started their adventure on their end.
Yeah.
And I think the standouts obviously are Spider UK and Doctor Octopus Spider-Man but sheer personality for Doctor Octopus Spider-Man. He's so happy, over the top, but like arrogant and egotistical. You can't just help think this guy is a scene stealer.
Yeah.
Everything he does.
The other little. Even like Silk, she has. She's bigger points to it.
Yeah, so we have to explain a little backstory for Silk as well.
Yes,
So back in the first Morlun. So, okay, to do with the first Morlun storyline, Ezekiel Sims came to Spider-Man and said, "Look, this Morlun guy is terrorizing the spiders. He's going to absorb your pain. I've encountered multiple times." So then years before this, Morlun steals away Cindy Moon, who got bit by the same radioactive spider that Peter Parker got bit with. Yeah, she got bit afterwards. Yeah, and then he cordoned her away in his one of his buildings,
in a bunker or something like that. Yeah,
and then Spider-Man found her. And they're out.
That all happened in
Original Sin. Right?
Original Sin, yeah.
She's key because she's the bride.
Yeah.
The other that we were speaking about before is now King Parker.
Yeah.
And the Scion is Mayday Parker, alternate universe daughter of Spider-Man in the future. Yes. Her brother, newly born.
Yeah. Spider-Girl. Yeah.
Yep. So there's all a little backstory. Yeah. But I have to say that what these issues do is, aside from little backstories and tie-ins of Spider-Verse stuff that you don't need to worry about, it gives you the quick lowdown of who's relevant and why they're there. Yeah. So it makes sense what they did.
Also, you could tell if someone doesn't have a little intro box telling you who they are, they're gonna die.
They can afford it, yeah. Yeah. Even sometimes there's the Bruce Banner Spider-Man who just and the Ezekiel or the old man Spider. Yeah. Who was like, okay, I've got my designs for Silk and do this, and I know what's going on, and then he can kind of get rid of him. Yeah, like, knows too much, clearly.
Yeah, like, plot device. Yeah. But besides that, it was good.
I have to say, so what did you think of... Now, no, I don't want to say we're criticising, but just pointing out certain things that are talking points about it. How Solus, the father of the Inheritors, just wiped out Captain Universe Spider-Man.
Yeah, that was
like, true. Okay, it's a safe haven in the Captain Universe Spider-Man's universe because the Captain Universe cosmic powers bonded with him and it never left him.
Yeah, until...
And then the Inheritors come along and have a fight in that universe and you're thinking, alright. Because obviously he's going to be way too powerful. But then it's like, to go out like the chump that he did as well. It's like, what?
But I like that. I was like, okay, it kind of shows you that, you know, he was a chump. I mean, like, like you didn't expect it. Like, because if he did win, you'd be like, oh.
I personally would have thought if all the Inheritors jumped him. If he's like, all of you get away, I have to, because they're gonna murder all of us. Yeah. I'll hold them off here, and they all jumped him, and then they all started absorbing him, and then you're like, oh, okay, fair enough. It's spread between. They're absorbing his powers through 7 people. Yeah. Okay, fine, right? But just one guy, because his gimmick is the father of the inheritors, he can absorb this stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if he could take on the Silver Surfer. You know what I mean? But hey,
if he well, because this guy's spider powers, I guess that's why he has more of a ability to beat him rather than people fought against like Silver Surfer because he's power cosmic. He's not anything related to Spider.
No, but
how do you mean?
It's more like, okay, the spider powers are a smaller part of the cosmic power that Captain Universe has, and but we'll allow that. The other talking point, I was like, Silk woman. Why don't you just listen to what people are saying and do what you're told instead of they tell us don't come with them into this pool, stay in the safe haven or what. She goes with them. Then she does something else. She jumps away with Jessica Drew or something, and Jessica Drew's teleporter gets broken, so she has to swap it with Silk. Silk jumps back, then jumps to somewhere else. And then they're like, okay, we're all here. Finally, look, let's set up a plan. And then Silk just jumps off because she's like, oh, I left Jessica Drew in the other universe, let me help rescue her. It's like, Silk, you gotta stop doing this. People are trying to come up with a plan.
It's just as normal like plotting anything. When you get that one person and say, you don't do this, they're obviously gonna do it.
I have to say though, they not that they were trying to shill all these people, but the one person they were like, we're gonna definitely try and put out a comic for is Silk, because not only that intros where Spider-Man found her, and then they're like, because of their proximity to each other and the spider pheromones, they start banging, and then it's afterwards they give her, like, they're clearly priming her for something. Just like, alright, but she's not so important. She's just freshly brand new. You don't need to just push her so far into this story where she's relevant beyond all the other Spider ladies. Like Spider-Gwen was there, and Jessica Drew Spider-Woman, and some of the others.
They both had their own comics at the time.
Oh yeah, but what I'm saying is, and these Silk was like too in your face there. Where Miles Morales had his own comics in the Ultimate Spider-Man, he didn't make as much I think noise, but
you mean he
didn't have much panel time, screen time, whatever you want to call it.
But he's at that point, he was around for about 5 years at that point.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that as a character, it's like they're like, Silk, she's gonna be our next. I was like,
They do it when they bring in someone new, they do that all the time.
No, but it's just like the amount of the silly decisions she's making, and then they're trying to push her to like, do buy our Silk comic. I'm like,
it's got that was like, say they did the opposite, then everyone think, she's boring, we're not gonna buy a comic.
No.
Sort of...
There's other people got their decent amount of time.
Yeah.
But she just caused more problems.
To move the story along.
But it's just like, dude's got a plan. Listen to the plan, because you just appeared a couple of issues. You don't even know what you're doing, and yet you're somehow But it was like, so also much of this was caused. I don't want to say by her appearance.
Yeah, it was. But
I'm not hating on the character. I'm just saying they could have written her in a way that was a bit more less obvious that they wanted to prime her for her own series, and more sensible. Listen to people that don't have that have more experience than her.
No one likes sensible. Movie heroes.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's like a slasher film where you say, "Don't do this, don't do that," and they do it anyways.
Because when Miles came about, if they did the whole "who will be sensible" stuff, he wouldn't. 11 years later, he still wouldn't be around.
It's different with Miles. I will say, because in this series, he interacts with Peter Parker. He's interacted with him before in the Spider-Man crossover. So it's like, okay, even though he's got different powers, a certain different amount of abilities, he's like, all right, Peter, classic Peter Parker, you're the boss of here. And I'm going to listen to what you're saying. It's like, good on you, Miles. Good on you.
Good on. But he's a child. You got to remember, Sydney Moon is like same age as Peter at this point.
To be fair, I'm going to say she has been in that bunker for 10 plus years, whatever. She had interactions with a while, so it's like, kind of yes, ADD, but they don't put that in the actuals. That's in the prelude to Spider-Verse, not in the actual series. When I was reading about that, I was like,
if you read about that,
woman,
you're like,
what
it's like you're just written to be stupid. But then if you have the backstory like we do, like, this makes sense because she doesn't know how to interact with people. It makes sense.
But I do like the Spider-Verse crossover as an overall thing.
It was great.
I didn't like the the other thing was the heel face turn of Khan, the outcast inheritor's like, okay, so he's been murdering spiders across the universe, and then second to last issue or something, he's like, you know what? I decided to turn on my families because I've murdered all these spiders and they still haven't accepted me back.
Yeah, I think there's a reason in the one of the.
No, it's not as simple as I made it sound.
Yeah,
but it's
like, again, like we're saying, if you don't read the titles.
No, I'm saying it's kind of out of nowhere. It's like where, all right,
like, okay, that makes no sense.
Yeah. Speaking of the Titans, by the way.
Yep.
So I was reading Spider-Man 2099 at this point, and it crossed over like. But did you read any of the like Spider-Verse Titans? I did read the other bits and pieces.
Not when I read this time around, but when it was going on, I read all of them.
All of them.
Yeah.
Jeez. I read. So I have to say I did like the Spider-Gwen Spider-Verse one because it was cool. It was well illustrated as well.
Yeah.
And teenage girl, like she had a cool costume as well. So I can see why they were priming her for. Like I mean, I don't think at the time they were, but like she was so popular, they did. I read some of the other ones. Patton Parnell, that the guy, you know about that one? The one that had to, the one that was peeking into Mary Jane's bedroom across the because they were neighbours.
No.
Oh right. So
this sounds bad.
It's shady. It is shady. Sarah Jane, sorry.
Yeah.
So what is playing with binoculars, looking in Sarah Jane's bedroom because they're neighbours and often. And then he's like caption bubbles. I've got to take some samples from her room for scientific analysis, quote unquote. And he's all sweating when he's having these binoculars. I was like, oh man. Okay, but he's like the bullied Spider-Man that just got really. Patton Parnell just really got beaten by his uncle as well.
Yeah.
And so when he got bit by the spider, it basically turned him into a humanoid spider. So he's getting those teeth and whatnot. And then he captures his uncle, infects him with all these spiders. So then they burst out of him. It bites Sarah Jane in the neck.
Yeah.
And Morlun comes. It's like a bit of a horror film.
Yeah.
Like that sort of direction it was going. Morlun, like by the time Morlun came to take him put him out, you're like, Morlun.
Yeah, you deserve
that. And then afterwards, at the very end of the thing, Sarah Jane's looking at her, the bites, and all these spiders are crawling out of her, and she's like,
oh, cool.
Right. So that was pretty shady. But they did do backgrounds for other Spider-Man, which they didn't kind of use really in the main crossover.
Yeah.
It was neat to have those backgrounds, but then some of them were just, okay, this is the armored Spider-Man from Web of Spider-Man 100 or whatever it is. Yeah. Okay. The only thing different is that he's wearing that.
Yeah.
The Iron Spider-Man, the only thing different is wearing that. The Black Suit Spider-Man, even one of them was the married Spider-Man. Well, one of them had the ring.
Yeah.
The other one, there's another couple of married Spider-Man in there as well, but it's just like they can't put everyone relevant.
Yeah.
So, but the key people that were there was a good mixture of people that were all relevant to the storyline. Like I'd say, there was a key maybe 10 of them that would definitely had like screen time spread out amongst them. That you're like, all right, this Peter Parker is only the leader because he's dealt with more than before, but everyone else is still relevant to this story. What did you think of when Dr. Octopus gave the heroic speech to the Uncle Ben in the...
I thought it was hilarious. Like, oh wow, you just basically told him he's a loser, so get up and start fighting again. I was like, oh yeah.
I liked it though. Some people like Peter should have done it, and I'm like, I'm thinking to myself, no, because if Peter did it, it'd be cliche. It'd be like, oh, what you expect, but the way that Dr. Octopus Spider-Man did it is like, look, man, I failed many a times as well, and look, we have to keep on getting up and going, even though it's just basically verbally hammering the guy.
Just shouting, basically.
But no, it made sense. With the character, with the
Yeah.
Dr. Octopus character, as well as like, you know what, shut up, old man.
Yeah.
Get your
stuff
together. And let's save the universe, essentially. I'm like, you know what, Ock? I mean, it helps. At that point, he took over Peter Parker's body, and he was still kind of not evil, but he was in this transition state where he was still being Dr. Octopus, but saving people, more like, I'm not saying anti-hero, but he's still arrogant, still villainous to a certain degree. But at this point, it's just like, this is his final transition before they were going to kill him. No, not kill him. But Peter Parker takes over the Spider-Man body again. So it's like, the final point. So then when we make the Superior Spider-Man series, Dr. Octopus has got his own stuff. Like, personas correct where we need them to be to make the point where it's like, yeah, we can make a series with this guy.
Yeah.
So that's any other notable Spider-Man there you want?
No, they had
Spider-Ham actually got quite a bit of a screen time as well. I'm like,
what was it? Japanese Spider-Man.
Which one? There's 3 of them.
Oh, the one from the TV show.
The one with the Megazord.
Yeah.
Leopardon.
Yeah, I was like, he's here. I forgot.
It's quite funny actually. The Emissary of Hell. And I was like,
they
are just thinking up a lot of random ones, but hey.
Emissary of Hell. Yeah, like, oh wow. I forgot he says that.
Yeah, but no, overall, actually, I think it's quite a cool adventure story. But you're saying you didn't like Spider-Geddon.
I don't remember it. I read this, like, to clarify, I read this a couple of months ago, so I didn't bother reading it again.
Yeah.
But going through it, I was like, this just seems like...
I tell you what, I kind of agree, because they get the adventure going right away.
Yeah.
It wasn't like in Spider-Verse where it's like, we got to put a little background to all these Spider characters. Yeah. We've got to do a little background on the Inheritors so you know what's going on in there. It's just like, this starts off as, something shady's going on with cloning, right? Like, the Inheritors have disappeared somewhere. Okay. Because the silly thing is, they kept watch. They tried to keep watch over the Inheritors after they exiled them to the radioactive universe. And then they're like, oh, let's send Spider-Bots in there to try and to keep an eye on them. They keep on destroying Spider-Bots. But then what they were doing is harvesting parts from the Spider-Bots to, to create something to go into Dr. Octopus's cloning vats.
Yeah.
Okay, because at this point, the clone conspiracy happened. Ben Reilly was the Jack who was making clones.
Yeah.
And recloned people's bodies.
Yeah.
The reason that Dr. Octopus has his cloning vats is because he is now crossbred body between Peter Parker and Peter Parker, Spider-Man, and Dr. Octopus genes, and then he has backup bodies just in case he dies.
Yeah.
Right. The Inheritors took over those vats, and they are reclaiming themselves into those vats. Okay. So that's how Spider-Geddon starts. Now, at this point, Spider UK and all them go like, okay, something's going wrong here. Let's go and visit Dr. Octopus because this is where the signal's leading us. And the adventure the Inheritors break out of their chambers, the vats, and then like, bam, the adventure's already going. And then they're like, we can't suck the life force out of Dr. Octopus Spider-Man because then he's a half-breed.
He's that's a bit...
they didn't say half-breed, but they were...
that's what they were implying,
And then they tried to suck the life force out of Spider-Gwen, but because she had a symbiote suit at that time, it was like, symbiotes? What?
Yeah, she's Gwenum,
which was neat, because it's like, okay, fair enough, that's the Dr. Octopus thing is fine, because it makes sense.
Yeah.
And the Gwenum thing is fine because she had to try and hold them off, so it makes sense that she would have to have a reason why they didn't kill her right off the bat.
Yeah.
Now, mainly this is, to me, now I was saying before, everyone else got kind of these, like, the key characters got decent screen time. This is more of the Miles Morales / Dr. Octopus show.
Yeah, because classic Peter doesn't turn up to like halfway through the middle.
No. He's like at the beginning because he had his own issue. He literally has his own issue with Morlun. Like for 3 of them, he's fighting Morlun all across 3 issues, and he only appears at the end. But it's good because it's like, okay, the guy who solved the problem before.
Yeah, he's not the main focus. This one,
and this one is more about these Spider-Geddon is more about how we're gonna lift up Miles Morales and Dr. Octopus as our main characters here, and how they take down how they work out the problem.
Yeah, because they split into 2 factions, don't they?
Yeah. Actually, you know what did you read about the original idea for Spider-Verse? As in, it was going to be Dr. Octopus Spider-Man leading a whole bunch of Spider-Men, like as Dan Slott said, I believe he was like a Moriarty leading a bunch of Sherlock Holmes to solve the mystery.
Okay.
So I think this was kind of like not the resolution to that, but just like, okay, now that we've taken Peter Parker out, this is more of the parts of the original story we were going to tell.
Okay.
Maybe the original idea, but I liked it because it's like, okay, we know who the 2 main guys are. That's the whole point of it, because Miles Morales then gets the Captain Universe powers.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah.
So and he then takes down Solus with the Leopard and Sword Vega.
Yeah.
And so you're like, okay, they've given him some sort of importance.
Yeah.
And then Dr. Octopus is a science hero in this because he solves the issue with the cloning bats and how to get rid of the inheritors without killing them. It's like, okay, but then it's like, yeah. So one guy is now the chosen one fighter, and the other guy is the brain, and everyone else is kind of like, oh, we'll help on the sides. That's what I'm saying. There's more.
Yeah, it's more divided out screen time.
Yeah.
I just don't remember. Like, I don't know. I just couldn't.
No, but okay. In a way, it's like the same adventure happened before that happened again.
Yeah.
But it's a good follow. It's a good solid follow up
because I probably got to read it again. Probably.
It wasn't a cash grab in my opinion. It was just like stories moving right away, and we know you people reading it know exactly if you've read Spider-Verse what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Same thing happens again, just with different things going on.
You know what? No, I'll tell you why I said it was a cash grab, and I shouldn't really said it for this.
Yeah.
Because isn't this when they introduce Gameverse Spider-Man into it, even though he's only he seemed like twice.
He had his own Spider-Geddon issue 0, where Doctor Octopus Spider-Man came to team. Yes.
Yeah. That's why.
Yeah. Well, yes and no, but then like you say, he made an appearance, and then it was like.
Yep.
Silence that. Silence that before I silence you.
Done it.
Oh no. Okay. He was. Yeah, it was, but then it was like, okay, well, this is Spider-Man from the video game. Why not make him have an appearance?
Yeah.
He's like the most relevant Spider-Man at this point in time.
Yeah, because even with Spider-Man...
That they could use, because they couldn't use the MCU Spider-Man.
Yeah.
You know they would have done something if they could.
Didn't they...
He was in one panel. He was in one panel, the MCU Spider-Man. He was when they're all jumping at the when classic Peter Parker joins the fight at the end, and there's a whole bunch of Spider-Man behind him. Yeah.
No, because I can't remember if it was that or something. One of them isn't Andrew Garfield in one.
I think he's in that massive group as well.
Yeah.
Not massive group. It's like a group of 20 of them or something.
Yeah.
But yeah. Okay. So you didn't think it was that good? I thought it was more of the same, but because the adventure's so fast paced, anyways, and it keeps on moving. It's not like it's a bad more of the same way, and it covers different people's not perspective, but the viewpoints and stuff like that. And this it lessens the screen time from others because it's like, okay, these are the two people, Miles Morales and Dr. Octopus. Here are our guys for this.
Probably got to read it again because when I did read it, I read it all the times as well, so I think that just tired me out. Question was Spider-Man 2099 and Kane in this one? Cause I can't remember.
Yes, but they're all side characters as well. So
that's probably why I didn't really like
it. Yeah. No, like I say, you know who they were trying to push.
Yeah.
But they didn't make it so blatantly obvious, like Cindy Moon.
Was Ben Reilly in it as well?
Yeah, Scarlet Spider.
Yeah. I think now I'm pretty sure he was in one of the tie-ins. Yeah, that makes.
Oh no, he was in the. He was. Actually,
I know. But I think there's like a tie-in.
He had. So when I say the two main characters are Miles Morales and Dr. Octopus Spider-Man, he had all those other secondary characters that were important, like Spider-Gwen, Kane Parker, Ben Reilly's Peter Parker, and others. But they're like, they were there at key points in the story to do specific things.
Okay.
Yeah, but it wasn't grounded to the massive scale of Spider-Verse, the first one. Now, all right, so we're gonna follow this with which Spider-Verse adaptation do you want to speak about next?
Must be about the Spider-Man 1994, the animated series.
Okay, the Spider-Verse before Spider-Verse, right?
Or Spider-Wars.
Yeah, Spider-Wars. So this is from Series 5, episodes 12 and 13, right?
Yep.
I really, really hate clones and Farewell Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But this was 1994 during the Clone Saga.
Yeah, you could tell.
Yeah.
Like, I noticed Marvel had a habit of this when their cartoons in the early 90s. Anything that was slightly big in the comics, they just throw it in the cartoon even though they have no idea what it's about.
Yeah.
I.e. the X-Men, they threw Cable in, even though Cable's only like 9 months old at that time. Yeah. So when he's in the cartoon, he had no idea what his powers was. And they even showed us like, he's a guy who doesn't like establishment, and then later on he come back and retconned it where he has his powers. But you can tell with this, it did the same thing with like Ben Reilly. Like, you haven't really thought this through, have you?
To be fair, they basically streamlined. They just stripped. All they took. The only point they took was he was a clone of Spider-Man.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Right, but he in that universe where they traveled to, he was the original Spider-Man as per the comics at that time.
Yeah. It's what I'm saying.
And the Peter Parker of that animated universe was the fake Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And this story starts off basically the Kingpin.
Oh wait, little background before this. The reason you got to this point as well, they did the Secret War as well, which was basically the Beyond Madam Web testing the different Spider-Men to help fight
this
Spider War. Yeah, basically, yeah.
So the Kingpin was trying to create some device for interdimensional transportation to take over the world or something like that.
No, he was creating a device to control people's minds so he could take over the world.
Oh, something like that. And then Carnage, the Carnage symbiote comes from the cross dimension, merges with the Peter Parker, who's having beef with the Scarlet Spider, and then becomes Spider Carnage, which is actually kind of a cool nod to when Ben Reilly was Spider-Man and the Carnage symbiote merged with him. In the comics during that time, because the costume is similar.
Yeah, I can say that.
So the Spider-Man involved here are animated universe Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Ben Reilly, Scarlet Spider from that particular universe. Silver Armored Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Which is basically Tony Stark Spider-Man. Dr. Octopus Spider-Man, which is not the Dr. Octopus in Spider-Man's body. It's his Spider-Man with Dr. Octopus.
Who basically, they didn't say it, but he killed Doc Ock and took his legs.
Well, they did not say it. They also didn't say it. They were like, these were a trophy
from my last battle with Doc Ock.
Wink, wink. You know what I mean? Alright. And Six-Armed Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And then non-powered Spider-Man, who turns out to be just an actor.
Yeah, which I thought was a bit silly, but it makes sense in the end. But
yeah. So what did you think of this two-part storyline?
I liked it. I remember liking it as a kid as well.
Yeah.
Only thing I noticed being an adult as well and watching something else, there is not... In the whole Spider-Man cartoon in general, there's only about 5 punches thrown in the whole 5 seasons.
Oh, really?
Yeah. If you watch it now...
I'll also say as well, they're laser blasters and not actual guns. It's like, how do you criminals get laser blasters? Or whatever.
But they did
and actually it's quite funny, you know, because they had rules and regulations.
Yeah.
So in this cartoon they were never allowed to say die, right? Yeah. So there was this really awkward exchange of dialogue where Peter Parker thought, I think he was either Green Goblin or Hobgoblin, but one of the goblins, he thought they were dead at one point. They were like, Green Goblin, but you're... And then the Green Goblin interrupts and goes, no, but you will be.
Yeah, you're like what?
Alright, okay. I guess.
Sure. What else I noticed? Armored Spider-Man is just a dick.
He's because he's like always had success. It kind of goes overboard into his head. When I say it's the Tony Stark Spider-Man, it's like MCU, Tony Stark mixed with Spider-Man, and he just jumps in there, and you're like, boy, you just want to be taken down, then you just want to be shot. And the way that he does get shot, it's just like random.
Okay.
Like, I'm swinging down here. All right. Enemies that shoot and miss everyone else, just somehow shoot him or something.
And the funny thing, which makes no sense as well, okay, it's armored Spider-Man, armored, but he gets taken down by a paralyzing ray. Shouldn't his armor protect him from paralyzing ray?
Yeah. No, you know, but it's just okay. If you, it's not really a Spider-Verse crossover. It's just something like a multiple Spider-Man team up, which is where we're pointing out here. And it's kind of fun and silly.
Yeah.
Don't take it too seriously. I don't think it's obviously meant to be taken seriously because it's like a bit over the top, a bit exaggerated, a bit like Spider Carnage and stuff like that.
His plan makes no sense.
Yeah. I'll destroy every single dimension.
Yeah. And the other thing about that makes no sense as well. Alright. His plan doesn't come together, but the bomb that he was going to use was only powerful enough to destroy that building. But then how does doing an interdimensional thing make it more... You know what I mean?
Yeah. And then they get Ben Parker from the Iron Spider-Man's universe, who never died. And they talk down Spider Carnage.
Yeah, I thought that was quite
And then he jumps into... He opens the transport, it's too late, he jumps in it to kill himself and Spider Carnage is like...
Yeah, he's like, oh, that's a bit...
Yeah.
Or he disappears.
They
can't say
or
die.
Disintegrate or something like that. You know, in that one I do remember in the same cartoon where... not in the same actual cartoon, in the same series.
Yeah.
Morbius is there. Right?
Yeah.
He's a vampire.
Yeah.
Right? And they suck blood, right? No, he sucks plasma.
Yeah, from his hands.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah, but no, as a crossover, I thought this was
really good,
silly and fun.
There's lots of things I've noticed as well that they take. I'm pretty sure the comics took like future inspiration for.
Yeah.
Like you were saying with like the Doc Ock thing, I was like, that's kind of in a way hints to the future of Doc Ock taking over his powers. They gave the shout out to Japanese Spider-Man, the mech suit. I was like, that's pretty funny. Yeah. But yeah, it was good.
All right. What do you think of the Ultimate Spider-Man? Okay, so Ultimate Spider-Man cartoon series.
Oh wait, let's go back first.
Yep.
The little cameo of the late great Stan Lee. I thought that bit was pretty nice. Like, oh, bless.
Yeah, his wife played Madam Web.
Yeah, I was like,
so I was like, oh, okay, it makes sense. Because at the end he goes, "Who's that good?"
What's that? His drastic voice was like,
sultry sounding lady, or something like that.
But I also found out in this show, I don't know if this is correct. You know, Madam Web comes from this. She came to the comics after this.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she was created for the cartoon, and then they.
Oh, okay. I thought she was. All right. No. No, that's not right. That's not right. Because back when Spider-Man fighting Juggernaut, way back in the 80s.
Was she there?
She was there. He had to protect her from the Juggernaut. The Juggernaut was coming after her powers.
Okay, I thought.
But maybe what you're saying is she disappeared for a long while, and then this.
He probably got back.
But exactly. Because I can see why, like way back when,
I think
even in the Batmans, right? Because there's a similarity where they didn't have Two-Face for a long while, and then they brought him back. So it could be just one of those things where it's like it just seemed like he never existed before, but came back to relevance.
Well, I think they might have adapted her power. I don't think originally her powers are the sort of the same.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, they made her more that how she's in that interdimensional thing. Yeah, I think that's what I meant. Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, overall great.
So Ultimate Spider-Man had a crossover in 2015. First it was Spider-Verse.
Yep.
And then Return to the Spider-Verse. We'll just lump this all together. But basically Green Goblin goes around to get the different Spider-Man's DNAs to become the Spider Goblin. Like he collected Spider-Man's DNAs from alternate dimensions for unknown reason, but at the end it's because he can then put the DNA to himself and become the Spider Goblin. Now the Spider-Man in this are cartoon Ultimate Spider-Man.
Yeah. Spider-Man 2099.
Yeah. Spider-Man Noir.
Girl.
Yeah. Spider-Girl, who's Petra Parker, not Mayday
Parker. In the Gen-Reverse world, yeah.
Spider-Knight and Miles Morales.
Yep.
I was like... And Spider-Ham, sorry. And Spider-Ham.
Oh, yeah, and him.
And... okay, so I'm watching this and I'm like, right, but it's not really a crossover. It's a dimensional hopping adventure that takes place in those little... So before they split the cartoon for the ads, they'll just have that story end and then the next one begin, and then he recaps each time. And I was like, okay, it's designed to be their own little sections of the thing, and you know what's going on because he had to repeat every time he jumps in dimension. It's like, okay, fine for what it is. And then at the end, all the Spider-Man team up to fight
Spider-Goblin.
Yeah.
Oh, and Mecha Electro.
Yeah.
I forget that the Siege Perilous.
Yeah. I mean, it's all right. It's not really a Spider-Verse crossover. It's just,
titled that. But there was some good things. Like one of the things I liked about it, each sort of world he went into had its own sort of animated style, or even just a slight difference. Like
so Petra Parker one is just basically but the animation style is relatively. Spider-Man Noir is
black and white.
Yeah. Not exactly, not completely black and white, but
everyone except for him.
Spider-Ham's like ultimate, really cartoony.
Yeah.
Spider-Man 2099 is like
CGI.
3D. And Miles Morales just basically the same as.
But the colour's kind of like darker.
Yeah.
If you look at it, because he's more bright than everyone else. Like, because the Ultimate Universe is that would be the second Ultimate Universe. It's kind of
Well, here's the thing. This crossover happened. This crossover happened in 2015, right?
Yeah.
Original Spider-Verse crossover happened in 2014.
Yeah.
But none of these guys in the cartoon have met any of those guys. Like the crossover happened, but this is a crossover happening with a separate set of people that are the same.
Yeah.
The same. They're named the same, but they're different characters. Yeah. There's more alternate versions of them. It's like, all right, okay, fine. If you say so.
Yeah. Another little sort of weird problem I had with this as well.
Yeah.
Like, every time the Ultimate Spider-Man went into everyone else's universe, there was like, oh, it sucks being Spider-Man, it's so hard, cry. And he's like, no, you can be great, do this. But I get he's trying to move it, but it's like, why is he that? Why can't every other Spider-Man have a sort of like chippy...
I tell you what's funny as well, because I don't want to say this is shilling to the ultimate degree, but because it's his own cartoon, so when everyone was jumping back to their normal universes at the end, they're like, oh, we're spectacular, we're amazing, but you are the ultimate Spider-Man. It's
I know the show's called On Spider-Man. I've been watching it for 5 years at this point, and I was a child. Why? That's what kind of... I don't know why it irked me, like... and then the whole bit at the end when he's like, I can't do this. Like, no, you can. We're all Spider-Man, and being Spider-Man is great. Yay!
Return to the Spider-Verse, pretty much the same formula. He just jumps into the different universes, different ones again, but this time with Miles Morales in tow. Vampire Spider-Man. No, it's Vampire New York, and the Blood Spider is fighting. He's like Blade at this point. He's just the vampire hunter. And I'm not sure if you noticed this, but I did. Blood Spider's costume is based on the Blood Spider. There was a Spider-Man crossover. I believe it had Nova, Moon Knight, Punisher, something like that. A bunch of them. In 1992. And there was this dude, Blood Spider, involved in it. This is where that Blood Spider from this cartoon's costume came in. So you go that far back, you know. But this was when I was reading Exploits of Spider-Man, and that just happened to be the time that this is what the crossover was going on. I'm not sure if it's that actual crossover now, but there was a bit where he encountered some dude called Blood Spider. When I saw it in this, I was like, that costume looks familiar.
Oh, that's what he stole.
So you're like, oh exactly. Designs from back in the day. It's like, okay, that's kind of neat.
I like when they do things like that.
But he encounters Blood Spider, Pirate Spider-Man, which has beard attached to his mask, and he's talking from it. It's like, right, okay.
Kids.
Cowboy Spider-Man, and they have the Pale Rider in that, who's like an old Marvel style Western character. Like, okay, that's neat.
That's pretty cool.
Even though they changed his history for whatever to
one the adaptation, kids in it,
Spider-Man Noir again, which this time had the Hulk in it. Oh, Joe Fixit Hulk. Spider-Gwen, Spider-Wolf, who is an evil Peter Parker who they chase him through the entire series. The sets of episodes. Did you say this? This is the previous one was Spider-Man DNA. This is the Siege Perilous one.
No, they brought it back because because in the whole beginning, the first one, that's where I don't know how Osborn got the Siege Perilous.
Okay.
And then he throws Electro into it and they use that thing.
Right. But this is also This is the Siege Perilous again. It's like, okay, convenient use. This is like a rinse and repeat of the exact same thing. It's like, okay. And as always, he's jumping through dimensions. He tells people what's going on so they could, if they jumped in from the middle of the advert. And each one has their own story. Like, aside from Spider-Man Noir, it seems like he has an whole episode dedicated to him. The rest of them like rinse and repeat from the previous.
It's a throwaway, really. Because Spider-Man Noir still has a fan base, if you know what I mean. Well,
I don't want to say. Well, this wasn't really a crossover. Just like a dimensional hopping adventure for the Ultimate Spider-Man, and then Ultimate Spider-Man and Miles Morales. So you can't really say much about it because
it was what it was.
It takes the idea of Spider-Man teaming up with other Spider-Man. But it's not like it's any grand team up at the end of it.
It's like the comics and the film Into the Spider-Verse.
So Into the Spider-Verse, which is really good. Does not take anything. It's just like clean slate. Let's tell a story that's straightforward from beginning to end. None of this inherited stuff for this Spider-Verse because it's just more of like Spider-Man crossovers. But this is Miles Morales' story, and this is how Miles Morales became Spider-Man.
In that universe. Watching this though, I kind of have a feeling that I don't know why I thought this. Because there's a bit near the end we saw the different spiderwebs, I was like, oh, maybe they're leading to the Inheritors at some point. If they're doing a sequel, I'm like, oh, that's random.
I think that'd be too much. Look, what I liked about this is they this is about Miles Morales being Spider-Man. None of anything else that happened in any Spider-Verse, whatever, matters because it is too clunky. We don't need it. It's just like, Kingpin is trying to get back his wife and child.
Dead wife and child.
So he's trying to find another dimension version of them to bring to his dimension.
Which is weird when you think about it. It's like, but then they'll be strangers to you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
But then it's like, okay, so then that's the what sets off the other spider people. So when Norman Osborn, Green Goblin, it's massive, by the way. It's really a hulked out version.
He's the ultimate version of Green Goblin.
Yeah, it's fine. The Chris Pine version of Peter Parker.
Yeah. Who's blonde.
Yeah, Chris Pine.
Yeah.
And he shunts him into the transdimensional teleport beam that's going across. And, okay, it makes sense then. It would, because he's Spider-Man involved in the sequence there.
Yeah.
Then it pulls down other spiders across the universe. All right, makes sense. But then I guess because Goblin was never actually in it, he was just pushing Spider-Man in it.
Yeah.
That's why there's no other goblins around.
Yeah, because that'd be messed up. Yeah.
But I will say, Kingpin must be really, really like massive back muscles, massive.
Yeah,
he's head in the middle of his body.
He's just a brick at this point. Like, oh wow!
And then he does a double Hulk fist smash on Pete Parker Spider-Man and kills it. And kills him. I'm like, God damn, Daredevil in this universe is never going to be taking on that guy.
He can't make universe. It's not Sony.
It's true. But he can't fight this guy. He cannot fight this guy. If this guy can smash down Spider-Man, even to be fair, Spider-Man was battered at this point, but still to break a guy's bones like that, who's been taking hits but then it just sets up the story of Miles Morales, because he was involved in this, but he was involved in this through his uncle, who's the Prowler, because they tried to take down Spider-Man, and then Spider-Man passes off the key fob to
what they call it again?
The Goober,
that's it. Yeah.
And then you're like, all right, okay, fine, I accept how Miles Morales then has to get this stuff done, but now there's no Spider-Man universe. How's he going to get taught? Hence the Spider-Man.
Hence
Peter B. Parker.
Yeah, my favourite one. Who's
Jewish.
Yeah. I realised that as well. I was just like, huh. Okay.
Yeah, because when he
broke the glass,
and stamped on it for the wedding thing, I was like, you know what? That's kind of neat. I mean, it's just fun little stuff there. There's not huge differences, but it's just like, okay, fair enough.
Okay.
And he got a little bit tubby and everyone.
He's 37 years old.
And he's married to Mary Jane's going to be.
He eats pizza.
No, he's not divorced. He didn't sign the papers.
Oh, he did sign. You seem to sign the papers.
No, I think they like, he's separated.
But that's what someone says when they don't want to say they were divorced.
I guess.
You see him signing it. I'm like,
yeah. I know. You see him put the pen to the paper, but you never actually see him sign it. I think there's like enough leeway. You're like, maybe he's not divorced.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Not yet. Yeah.
Because the whole point of it, then he goes back to his universe to get back with her. So.
Yeah.
But I like how they did it, because it's like everyone they took. They had Miles Morales, Peter B. Parker, Spider-Gwen, Spider-Ham, Spider-Man Noir, Penny Parker. No, not Penny. Is it Penny Parker?
Penny Parker, yeah.
Yeah, so they only took about 6 Spider-Men for this crossover, not counting the original Spider-Man universe, because he didn't.
He did.
But they're like, okay, 6 guys. We'll just focus on them. This is really about how they interact with Miles Morales to get him to the point where he needs. And he fails a couple of times, and it's good, because it's like character building. It's like you can't expect him to work out everything right away, because he doesn't know what's going on, and he only had his powers 2 days ago.
Yeah, so he won't be like,
Yeah, and then like, notice they put him down to the degree that you're like, oh, Miles, man, you gotta succeed. Yeah. But it's just, this is a massive consequences if he can't get his stuff together.
Yeah.
So it's like, we're gonna have to keep you out of your own adventure.
Yeah.
Just because you're not gonna be helpful, you're gonna endanger all of us and whatnot. Well, it makes sense.
Makes sense, yeah.
And you're like, but you at that point, they're not ripping into him, but you're like, it gives you, the viewer.
Yeah. You can relate to him.
Yeah, you're like, Miles, come on, Miles.
You gotta do this, dude.
Yeah, you do it, boy, do it. And then when he finally does it, you're like, get in there.
It's like. Like, when I saw it in the cinema, it was actually a feel-good movie. Like, I like this film. You know, I feel I had emotions in. I'm not just watching a film.
Because like all his interactions with his parents and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Just like, Miles, like, this is your time. You can do it. You can do it. We all believe in you.
Yeah. He's like,
and when he does it, you're like, yes, Miles. Yes.
Because it has like you said before. There's like real stakes to it. Like, if he doesn't do this, everyone's.
But he gets beat up though as well by his own uncle.
Yeah.
Who the Prowler at this point, he doesn't know.
Yeah.
He gets beat up towards the end with Kingpin as well.
Yeah.
Like Kingpin's taking him down. And he's just like, the matter of him having these extra powers that helped him. It's like, yeah, he's not going to be a guy who just kind of come out of this smelling of roses.
Yeah, because if he just beat the Kingpin straight up, you're like, that's a bit.
Yeah, even Peter Parker could do it.
Yeah, exactly, and he was seasoned.
Yeah. So it's like, well done in the sense.
Yeah.
Miles Morales, yes, the torch is passed on to you indirectly from another Peter Parker in the universe, but you got still exactly what you needed to.
Like my favourite parts about that film as well, his interaction with Peter J. Parker, because it's like
P.B. Parker.
That's it. Peter Benjamin Parker. Yeah. Like it's just how he took him under his wing, even though he's like a mess himself.
exactly. It was fun because it's more like. When Miles was saying, you got to get back to your own universe, man. Because you got your own problem. You got your stuff to sort out, and I believe in you. Man.
Yeah, and even now, it's like
the other way as well. It's like when he's ready, when Peter B. Parker's ready to go, he's like, Miles, I believe in you. Can sort this out.
Yeah.
I'm ready to go.
And like one of my favourite parts is when they go into Alchemats. Yeah, so we're going to swim over to Alchemats, and the next thing they're on a bus. He's like, "Why are we going to swing to the Hudson River? That's stupid. You got to drop off your legs."
There's cool, fun things in it, and very enjoyable film.
Yeah.
And it wasn't blatantly, we're going to show Miles Morales to you. It's like, because there's tons of other Spider-Man in it as well. It's just Miles Morales probably be in the sequel leading that as well, but it's just more like how the interactions between everyone's going. Yeah, because they all got their decent amount of time to shine. Yeah, and obviously Miles didn't get time to shine until the very end. Yeah, the last 20 minutes or something like that. But it makes a lot of sense to keep him at his stature until the point where he needs to. be.
Because if you just put him halfway through the middle and he's very like Mr. Awesome, you're like, this is just. And every other movie where this happens.
Exactly.
There was there's little cool nods in it as well.
Oh, there was a Spider-Man video game costume in there.
Yeah, I was like,
oh.
There's two of them in there. Like, well, no.
No, the white Spider costume.
Yeah, I was thinking of another costume that's in the game, but it's actually a real costume. But,
yeah.
That one, the cape was weird. I just kept thinking, is that when he became Sorcerer Supreme? Because, it's a stupid cape.
Yeah. I guess not.
Not. There was another... I liked the weird... Like, how Scorpion was in this film, even though he was...
the redesigns of certain characters, like Scorpion, like you're saying, is Mecha Bot.
Yeah. Like,
with legs, but then again, I think they readjusted that so he could fight Penny Parker, who had the Mecha
Mech versus Mech sort of thing.
Yeah. But it did kind of, I don't want to say, Mexican gangster tattooed prisoner Scorpion, who's similar to the Ultimate version of Scorpion to a degree. But like, okay, fair enough. I accept there's going to be different types of these things because they used Olivia Octavius, and I'm like, first of all, when I saw a female Doctor Octopus, I was like, is that Caroline Trainer?
Yeah,
the Clone Saga. But I was like, they're not going to use her. The Clone Saga. Everyone pretends that doesn't happen.
Yeah, that never. She never existed.
Right. But then again, exactly, Olivia Octavius sounds more of similar to Doctor Octopus. Yeah. And you're like, all right, but Caroline Trainer doesn't sound like anything. You're like, who the hell is this one?
Literally, he was sitting there getting the phone out with Ophelia.
Who's this woman? All right.
Her. Okay.
Yeah, but I don't mind they gender swapped Olivia Octavius.
I think it was a good way to do it, rather than rehashing sort of Doc Ock. From like the rainy ones.
They used it in a funny way because then Peter B. Parker's like trying to seduce them. It's like, oh hey, I didn't see you there.
What did you say your name was again? Olivia Octavius. Like,
Yeah, but their interactions were kind of fun. It wouldn't have been the same if it was a male or Octavius, unless they made him gay, because the joke wouldn't have pulled off. Yeah. And they gender swapped her, but not particularly for. I want to say for no reason. Yeah. But just like, it's an alternate universe. So it's Miles Morales' universe. They can kind of do. There's a blonde Peter Parker.
Yeah, exactly. So. You can do what you want, but
so that was well done. Spider-Gwen with the punk rock hair.
Yeah, because of Miles. Yeah.
And did you stay for the after end credits by Spider-Man 29 hours?
Miguel Harris. Yeah.
Miguel O'Hara. Yeah. With and his lady hologram thing was not Lyra.
Wasn't no.
Because she looks like Marilyn Monroe and they can't have that. It's like, all right. And he travelled to the 60s.
That was that. He did the meme.
Yeah.
Stop pointing at me, but you're pointing at me. That's how rude it is.
I did enjoy that because I was like, oh, when's Spider-Man 2099 going to make an appearance?
Yeah.
But I was like, it's fair enough you save him for your sequel. Like,
Yeah, they will.
Whatever you want to do, that's fair enough because they've got to keep characters that are so they can revisit other ones.
Yeah.
And they took certain ones that you're familiar with to use this one. Not say you're familiar with, but just more
known.
This section, and then they save some other ones for later on. It's all cool. Did you read about the rumor of what they're going to do for Spider-Man 3? MCU Spider-Man 3.
Yeah, I've heard many rumors. And
it's going to be a kind of a Spider-Verse film. I'm like,
more rumors I hear. I'm like, I don't care.
Okay, I tell you what the star's thing is. Like, he's got to get a film that he's
the main focus.
Yeah, exactly. and then say he was the third. The main focus of the third film is him, right?
Yeah.
Then Spider-Verse for the fourth film or something like that. But it's just like, fair enough at this point. You can do the Spider-Verse, but doesn't mean you should.
Yeah, exactly.
Give him his own movie where he stands alone, stands on his 2 feet, and is like finally the man Spider-Man. And then you can have him team up with other Spider-Mans going, I'm the hero of my universe, you're the hero of your universe.
If anything, just bung him into Spider-Verse 2.
Oh yeah, I suppose.
You know what I mean? Because then, like, things like that, I think work better CGI because then you could do all this crazy stuff and it looks more...
It's true.
Not realistic, but it fits more in. But this one, I feel like Spider-Man 3, I feel like it's going to be random cameos. Like, oh look, there's Andrew Garfield.
Yeah, because they already got Electro and they're supposed to be getting Alfred Molina. I'm like, I don't know about this. As an execution of Into the Spider-Verse, maybe you could do that.
Yeah.
But it probably should be if you're going to do a fourth movie rather than a third one.
Yeah, it's just like you said.
Because then what happens? When is he going to be
Spider-Man?
Yeah, exactly.
Because like in the first one, he's basically trying to get Tony Stark's attention.
Yeah.
Then the second one,
he's
cleaning up Tony Stark's mess in a way.
Sort of. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. But it's not as simplistic as that. Yeah. Because the torch is passed on, but then he causes his own little problems.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's
still focused around Tony Stark in a way. So in this one, it's focused on previous old Spider-Man. I mean, it's not.
Yeah. He needs a story that focuses on him. But that's not.
But like I said, I keep hearing more. I just get less like bothered about the film, but I'll still watch it.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see how. We can only speculate on that, so we're just going to leave that alone. Because it's not a Spider-Verse crossover yet, or whatever. They might even cancel it for all we know. Just leave that. Leave that be for the moment, right? But so looking forward to Spider-Verse 2.
Yes.
Whenever that comes out. I mean,
it's going to come out next 2021, I think, or really? Probably 2022. Actually, who knows?
We'll see. Because it's fun. They know what they're doing with that story. I'm interested to see what kind of other Spider-Man they'll bring in there.
I was going to ask you, what Spider-Man would you like to see in this?
Okay, so it depends on what the adventure is, because if they do something like The Inheritance, then they can go around. But then I don't think that's going to be way too messy. And they've already got 6 Spider characters. They're probably going to come back as cameos. You can only stuff more in there, but probably Spider-Man 29 would actually make a proper
I reckon
long time actual appearance in it. Maybe Spider-Man from the video game, I'm guessing. Who do I want though?
But which face?
Yeah. They'll probably avoid that because Miles Morales also is in that.
And it's completely different as well.
Yeah, exactly. So it's going to be like Miles and Miles again. What?
Yeah.
Unless they don't use. Because Miles' costume is exactly the same, right? So there's no distinguishing features. Oh no, it's not exactly the same.
No, it's sort of different. Well, in this, I'm guessing in the Spider-Verse 2, he'll have a newer costume.
Yeah, he probably is more common. Standard costume. Yeah, but then that's it. At least with the video game Spider-Man, he's got a big, massive white spider. He's distinguishable from everyone else.
Yeah.
Even though that's already appeared in one of the chambers in his spider cave. I don't know. The only one I'm saying, like, I'd be cool to have Dr. Octopus Spider-Man, the Superior Spider-Man in it, just for the ham and cheese of it, you know. But the only one I'm for certain probably I'd say 100% will be there's Spider-Man 2099. Other Spider-Man, like you say, if you wanted to, probably the Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire and Tom Holland. But if they're doing their movie, they're not going to be. They're going to keep them to the side.
Yeah. I would like to maybe. This is a random one.
Well, Spider-Punk though would be cool to make an appearance.
People like him.
Yeah. Spider UK if they, but then that might turn into a different kind of adventure.
Yeah. Because
you can't go cosmic in this.
No, especially because he's got the Captain Britain Corps, which is all different Captain Britains from different universes.
So who do you think should make? Who do you want to, and who do you think? They're two different questions here. Okay. Should make an appearance in Spider-Verse 2.
I want them to actually bring the 1960s cartoon one into it, and I want him to actually look like the cartoon.
Yeah.
And just be complete and utter rubbish because it makes no sense.
Yeah.
But probably like you, I would really like Spider-Man 2099 to be in it.
Yeah.
Because he's obviously one of my favorite Spider-Man. Or maybe even Mayday Parker from the M2 universe.
Oh yeah.
Because another one, she's got a classic following, and her universe is pretty cool.
Yeah. They might throw a couple of Spider Women in there.
Yeah.
I can see maybe one of the versions of Jessica Drew.
Yeah, well,
because it's the ultimate version is what I'm saying, the clone of it. But then that might Ben Reilly would be fun.
Yeah, I was gonna say Ben Reilly, but then I realised the mess behind
that. Yeah. So if they just say he's just Blom Peter Parker from an alternate universe in the Spider-Man in the Scarlet Spider suit, great. Let's just move on.
Yeah. Or you say he's Peter Parker's.
Or they could just lampshade it and go, like you know when they put the stickers right on that. Like so when they throw the comic book down and say let's start from the beginning. Yeah. Ben Reilly's like, I'm a clone. That's all you need to say.
It gets messy up to that point. Or they can just say, he goes, I'm Peter Parker's brother, and then have an asterisk. Long story. Like,
yeah.
There we go. Yeah.
I don't want to say Spider Carnage would be good in this because he wouldn't.
No.
But he might. I don't know if they, because then if they do who's the threat that brings them all together. It's just Spider Carnage might be something fun to use, but I don't think it'd suit something. Depends on what the story.
Yeah, depends. Yeah.
But then they're gonna be basically doing the 1994 animated series.
Yeah. But no one punches anyone.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall.
Oh, we didn't mention before, but this is really fun to do. So in Spider-Geddon, which there's the Norman Osborn Spider-Man.
Oh yeah.
And there's the Spiders-Man, which is 1,000 spiders that
who took on Peter Parker's consciousness, innit?
Yeah. And they were kind of cool bad guys within the. And I liked how Norman Osborn was basically Norman Osborn. He didn't give a damn about anyone else. Just had Norman Osborn with more arms than spider powers. He's like, cut them off from their universe. They cut the inheritors, keep them in this universe. They can't go nowhere. If the universe gets destroyed, fine, whatever.
It is what it is.
It don't matter to me. But he'd be cool to use as a villain in that, because there's like, you have all those multiversal Spider-Man. That's what I'm saying, Spider Carnage and Spider-Man as well. So like, you have a group of good Spider-Man and a group of evil Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Sort of, like it kind of will give you a reason to why the Spider-Verse people join together.
Yeah.
Because they, you can only do transdimensional time warping or whatever. You've already done it once, so you not quite need it again. Yeah. But if it's like something, I don't know, maybe Spider-Carnage going around killing all the other Spider-Men because he's got beef with them. But Norman Osborn do something shady because that's how villains do. They could make it work. But I mean, I'm interested to see. But then he'd have to come in there as a villain because he can't come in there as a good guy. Or the good guy who he pretends to be a good guy, and then he just goes like, "Nah, damn you all to hell."
So I think it might end up being like Spider-Man version of like in Endgame, where they go to different universes to do whatever.
Yeah. But look, those I think. Doctor Octopus, Spider-Man 2099, Doctor Octopus Spider-Man, Ben Reilly Spider-Man, Green Goblin Normal Osborn Spider-Man, Spiders-Man. They're just more interesting ones.
Spider-Man's a bit too
for PG-13.
It's a bit too out there for like.
Yeah, but there'll be interesting ones to mix in there. I'm saying I don't know if they're going to use them or not. I don't think I want to say it really matters or affects. It's just like they're the ones with their own agenda. The bad guys there are the ones with their own agendas. So it's kind of like,
I think they'll try to stay away from like saying that Spider-Man could be a bad guy because he's
true.
Yeah, they should use like what's his name, the anime Spider-Man from the Spider Clan. That would go over well because everyone loves anime. So
it'd be cool to see, by the way, the Spider-Man emissary from Hell. Leopard in animated form, but they can't have him say I'm an emissary from Hell because it's like, what?
I still find that so insane, but
that's all. So very enjoyable overall. Okay, so Spider-Verse.
Yep.
Enjoyable. Yep.
Yep.
Spider-Geddon, you didn't like it so much. I still liked it though.
Didn't like it so much, but I have to give it another read.
Yeah. Well,
some of the stuff you were saying.
To be fair, but to be fair, it's more of a retread of the same gimmick, but with different
stakes.
Yeah, exactly. But I liked it because it was Octopus and Miles Morales. That's who it was about. You know, we're making sure we're putting these guys to the top.
Yeah.
994 Spider-Man, kind of wacky fun actually. You know?
Yeah.
With all the restrictions they had, and all the stuff they had to do, it's kind of, you don't take it seriously.
No.
Ultimate Spider-Man crossover. I was like, you could probably just not skip these, but they're not really crossover.
It's not. Yeah. It's you can skip them. I'll be honest.
And Into the Spider-Verse. Very well done.
Very well done. Recommend if you haven't watched it. If you haven't watched it at this point, I don't know what's wrong with you, but I would say watch it.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yes.
No pun intended.
Yeah, definitely give that a watch.
Yeah.
Okay, so that brings us to a close for our discussion of the Spider-Verse variations of Spider-Man adaptations.
Yes.
So we'll probably you know what, we'll just we'll have a think of what we're going to do next.
Probably another random. Might not be Spider-Man.
No.
Might be another hero team. Whatever.
Some sort of storyline that we can kind of. When you look at it from retrospectively, or when as times past, you could kind of see more what's been relevance or what the storyline is. So probably do something from the past or not too recent.
Yeah.
Because then we can see the consequences and discuss about.
See if they're still relevant.
What's going on. Okay, and that's so that brings our discussion to a finish about this. I'm CY Chung.
I'm my co-host.
Yep. And this is us signing off. Thanks for taking the trip around the multiverse with us.
May Spider-Man be with you.